I'm going to be sharing with you how you can shop Sephora even though they don't ship to South Africa and possibly whatever country you're in. Keep on watching if you want to know how you can do it and how you can get your hands on amazing beauty products. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about placing your order and making a payment and all of that. So obviously you can shop Sephora via their website, which is sephora.com, or you can shop it via their app. I always suggest that you guys sign up for the rewards program. I think that's really important because one, you're going to accumulate points which you can use to redeem for stuff. What you can also do is track your past purchases and stuff. Like if I show you now on the app, these are all my past purchases. Now basically most of these were actually shopped in store, not online, but because it's all linked to my rewards program card, that's why I'm able to have access to them on the app as well, and it picks up all my past purchases. So I can tell you every single thing that I bought on Sephora using that particular card. So once you know what you want and you've added it to your cart and all of that, obviously you've got your account. My first order was using PayPal. Now I use my PayPal account for a lot of things. It is linked to my South African credit card. So even though I'm paying via PayPal, it's technically all going off my normal like credit card account. So basically what I did was I placed everything in my cart. The address I used was my US forwarding address, but I'm going to come to that just now in a later part in the video. So basically I put my address, which is my US forwarding address, via Shopito, and when it comes to the payment of the order, I paid via PayPal. So I checked out and I went, it takes you to your PayPal account, and then you put in your PayPal details and you know, click OK, and then it goes through. So immediately I got a beep on my phone. So I'm like, okay, that's the full amount. Like, okay, there's the amount that went off, a beep. And then I moved along with my life. I bought two items. One was $45 and one was $40. And so, okay, cool, moved along with my life. The next day I was actually on a flight to Johannesburg, and I remember getting off the flight and I saw like a message when I switched my phone back on. I saw a message on my phone to say that an amount went off for Sephora, and I was like confused because the day before this had happened where the full amount for both items had gone off, and then the next day I get like an amount that was technically almost like half, and as I said, the one was $45 and one was $40. So it was kind of like for one item. So I was very confused. I was like, why was my account like double debited? I was so confused about it. Anyway, so I carried on. I remember chatting to my friend Zakira, and I was like so confused as to what's happening, and like what do you think I should do, because it's really confusing. Anyway, so the next day I went onto my bank account and I looked at it, and it basically, the full amount was like a pending transaction. And so I was like, okay, you know, this is a bit odd. But anyway, what I did was I emailed Sephora and I said, listen, this is the situation. Why has the amount gone off my account again? And the explanation I got from the person in customer service told me was that the initial amount that they take off is like a pending transaction, and they refund it to you at a later stage. But what happens is, like, when they shipped this Huda Beauty foundation, they then actually put through like a final transaction for this amount only. And one of the most annoying things about Sephora that I've realized is that they ship stuff separately. So this was shipped separate to the other item that I ordered as well, and that's going to complicate your life a little bit when it comes to your forwarding address. But as I said, I'm going to get to that at a later point in the video. So when this was shipped, they only deducted money for this. So that's why I had another transaction, and obviously then when the second item was shipped, then they put through that transaction as well. But now the funny thing about that was that all this money is technically minus from your account. Even though at a later stage they're going to refund that full amount, you're still not having access to that money because it is a pending transaction on your account. So that was one of the things that I was a bit like, what I did do as another way to obviously give you guys proper information, I did place another order 2 days ago. So I placed an order for, what did I place? It was the Rihanna Fenty, the new Mademoiselle matte lipsticks. So now obviously I'm aware that you can use a PayPal account. So what I did was I shopped with my South African credit card. So initially the transaction went through perfectly fine, and then within a few hours I saw another exact amount go off 3 hours later off my account, again the money was basically like being held hostage. So basically I had like a double transaction within 3 hours of using my credit card on Sephora. So I was a bit like, okay, I checked my bank account online, and I saw, okay, the money is definitely all being held. It's pending transactions, exact amount twice. So I kind of like just left it. I was like, okay, you know, let's see. And the items weren't shipped or anything, so it wasn't that story where they deduct it again when it's shipped. It was literally 3 hours later. So I left it and I was like, okay, let's just see what happens. So what did happen was the next day I got an email from Sephora to say that my order was cancelled. And my order was cancelled because of the payment, and they're basically saying to protect you and to protect us, we've cancelled the order. And obviously because of my online store, I do understand that sometimes when the address is in another country and the card is in another country kind of thing, sometimes it does come up as a possible fraudulent transaction, and that's why my order was obviously cancelled. So that happened, the order was cancelled, and that means that obviously I don't suggest that you guys use your South African credit card to shop on Sephora. I suggest you sign up for a PayPal account and link your credit card to that PayPal account, and then you can shop on there. So as I mentioned, my transaction that I tried to place with my South African credit card was 2 days ago, and at this point of filming this video now, 2 days later, the amounts have not been refunded and credited to my account. So basically I don't have access. Let's just put a figure of 500 rand. So technically they took off 500 rand and then they took off another 500 rand, so that's 1,000 rand. So technically I don't have access to that 1,000 rand that is now not on my card. So like that's why I'm like, you know, it's a bit awkward that they do that and double debit. But this one I think was just because of the South African credit card, and that's why they did it twice without it even having been the ship story, where when they ship it then they do a final deduction. So that is something that you guys just need to be aware of. Make sure you've got enough money in your credit card either way, because even if you're using your PayPal, it's still kind of going via your credit card unless you've obviously got PayPal credit. Let's talk about shipping and the forwarding service and all of that. Now firstly, let's say you order 4 things in your Sephora order. It is very possible that all 4 things are going to be shipped separately. So I ordered 2 items in my Sephora order, and then I also added some complimentary samples and things as well. So both my items were shipped separately. So one was shipped, let's say, on Monday, and the other was shipped on Wednesday. So this means that this was 2 separate packages coming to my Shopito address. So at the time I did upgrade my Shopito account because I had a whole lot of packages from KKW Beauty, from Kylie Cosmetics and Colourpop as well coming through. So I was able to have multiple packages in the warehouse. However, if you have a free account, you cannot have multiple packages, and that means that you must upgrade your account, which costs about $10 to do so. So that's just something that you must be aware of. I don't necessarily think that it happens all the time where they ship things separately, but I think sometimes maybe if it's in one warehouse, then they send it from that warehouse, and if that other item is in another warehouse in another city, then they send it from there. But I'm just saying, just be aware of that. Shopito is a service that I use all the time. I've easily maybe 40 packages I've done via them. So I have a set address that is via them, and anything that I want shipped, I just ship it to them, and from there I then do the process online where I have it shipped to South Africa. Now, one of the things that I have to make you guys aware of is that, so the options I used to use when I first signed up at Shopito was the email economy. So that's the cheapest option that you're going to get, and that is going to come to you via the South African Post Office. So that generally takes maybe about 20-30 days, somewhere there, and it is a very slow option, but it is the cheapest option. But one of the things that I discovered probably in the past 6 or 7 months was Aramex, and you can ship via Shopito. This is all via Shopito. You can select Aramex as an option to ship your parcel with, and that has also been a very affordable option, and that comes up within a week. So you're paying, like, let's say on average, like for my Kylie ones, I was paying like $20, $25 or something for shipping via Amex, and I'd get it within a week, and I thought that was like super amazing. One of the things that I should mention to you guys is that, so obviously, I mean, there's other shipping options here. There's like FedEx, there's DHL, there's a whole lot of other courier options as well, but I obviously just look at the cheapest one that I can use. With the Sephora order, because I had the Huda Beauty foundation in it, this is considered a liquid. So because I had a liquid within my package, it meant that I could only have access to certain courier companies that I could use to ship my parcel, and so I actually had to use DHL. So DHL cost me so much. It cost me like $100, and like my heart was like, I can't believe I'm spending this much on just shipping off this parcel. And it was literally like a small box. This is how big the box is. That was the size of the box. It's not even like a big box. Look at that. And I spent $100 like with everything in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was so crazy. But as I mentioned, because I had so many orders coming in, what I got them to do was open everything and then put it all into one box and kind of like tightly pack it so that I can pay less money, because if you just took all the boxes sealed and put it in a big box, I pay even probably like $500. I don't have that kind of money for shipping, guys, no. So yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to pay like $100 on shipping. It was crazy. Anyway, so what happened was DHL contacted me, and they told me that I had to pay obviously some fees and stuff for customs taxes here in South Africa, and I was like, okay. And what I did was I immediately did like an EFT to them and all of that, and then from there, then they obviously released my parcel from SARS, and then like move along with life kind of thing. But they do the whole clearing process and all of that. Same like with the post office. If you use email economy, it's the same thing. All you're going to do is get a slip from the post office, and they're going to give you an amount that you need to pay, and when you go pick up your parcel, you just pay for it and you pick up your parcel, and it's all sorted. With Amex, I've never had to pay taxes. I think all my parcels just come through without having the customs clearance. So there's that. My main thing with this video was just like understanding the payment process, and that you're going to be double deducted and making sure obviously that you have enough money in your account in order for all the transactions to go through. I hope you guys find this video very helpful. If you do, please leave me a comment down below, and if you have any further questions, definitely leave a comment down below as well. There was like a huge influx on my Instagram DMs. I have this thing where I constantly want to close my DMs because there's just like such an influx. People always asking questions, and then like I try and put the content out there where everyone can access it, so I don't want to answer individual questions, and sometimes people get rude with you and all of that. It's just quite unfortunate. But as I said, if you guys have any questions, please leave it down below. Don't like inbox me or email me or anything. Let's just keep the conversation open and where everyone can access the information. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Bye.